Hello, hello, my lovely angels. This is your girl Sim back with another episode of the Sim Squad. Hi. So I'm filming this like literally on the second day of Eid, and a lot of you all had like a lot of questions about henna. So I made like this henna, some of it myself, like the couldn't get the circle right. And then this like is a henna sticker. So you just like stick it, you put a wet cloth over it, and then just peel it off like a normal tattoo sticker. So you get these henna tattoos like on Amazon and Shein or many other places. Like you can get it from anywhere. So for everybody who was asking about what is this dye that we use on our hand, it's called henna, and it's a part of like different cultures. We have it in India, but I think if I'm not mistaken, originated in Egypt and then like moved around the world, and a lot of people actually use these. They come in different colors, but the most traditional and popular color is the brown, which comes from the natural henna extract. So the henna is actually just a powdered leaf from the henna plant. I'll try to put the scientific name because I don't know what the name is. And then it's a whole process of like drying it and crushing it, and then it becomes a powdered form. Then they, the what do you call it? They strain it into a fine powder, and then finally what you get is the henna powder. And you usually just mix it with either tea water or coffee water. Some people mix like essential oils in it, like eucalyptus and stuff, to make it like the color stronger. But the basic henna is like usually what you just mix with water and use it on your hands. So just a little bit about the henna. So today I have an interesting video because Khadlaj actually sent me 3 of their reformulations, and it was a whole confusion going around on the net because everybody was giving different opinions and they were getting different versions of the same perfume. And I have just 3, and as far as I know, these are the only 3 that are actually reformulated. And let me start with the first one, which was like the biggest, like, whoa, what just happened? It's the Empire Victor. So whoa. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the new one, the new formulation over here, and the old formulation on this side. So this was the bottle, if you remember. So nothing has changed. The bottle is the same. Everything is the same. Box opens up like that. If you remember, it's a beautiful bottle. Now, the thing is that initially, the old version, for me, this was like the most barnyardy oud you can imagine, along with like a lot of caramel and vanilla. So it was like the only gourmand pure oud that I came across. And I actually am in love with this perfume. So I actually like this quite a bit. But then they released the reformulated version. Now, the thing is, the bottles are exactly the same. And it's just the date of production. So let me see, the date of production of the new formula was this year, and it was in April. So anything that's produced like April onwards is the new formulation. Now let me just spray them both side by side because, so let's start with the new one. Now this one, everybody was describing it as a vanilla bomb, and I was just wondering, why are people not noticing the oud? Because I was like, this is like the most barnyardy oud ever, and I was so surprised that people were not mentioning that they're smelling the oud. So for me, it was like a bit confusing because I know this will not be an easy grab for people, and this is definitely like very polarizing, the old formula, because this was like a very strong oud, like a very advanced oud. So I was just a little like concerned, and then I started seeing like people's reactions where people were so happy with it. And I'm like, what's going on, because like the reception towards oud is generally not like very worldwide, like very easily accepted, because this kind of oud especially, it's a very advanced oud. Now if you're fond of oud, if you're in the advanced stage of experiencing oud, if you can get your hands on the original formula, there's nothing like this one. The perfume is very different. Now this one, I absolutely understand the new formula, why people were saying this is a vanilla bomb. And this tops each and every vanilla perfume I've come across. It is so stunning. Like if you want to smell like vanilla essence, like the essence of vanilla, the one that you use in cooking, along with like a biscuity kind of vanilla, and then all these vanillas combined, you get Victor. It's the new formula. It's a pure gourmand, but it's a very strong gourmand. It stays on your skin for the longest time. It's a very potent formula. So it's a very strong form of oud, very strong form of vanilla. On the other hand, the initial one, the old formula, which was from last year, this is definitely a 2023. I don't know why I just sprayed 2 sprays, because that was a mistake, because it's gonna overwhelm the entire room. Now this, the moment you smell it, you get this very, very strong barnyardy oud, along with, yes, the same vanilla that's in this one, but this one is combined with a lot of oud. Now, which one do I prefer? Honestly, the old formula. Because for me, look, listen, I'm on advanced stages of oud, okay? So for me, this is a very unique perfume. It's very animalic vanilla. And although we have seen animalic vanilla with Ishq al Shiyuk, also the Seher Lattafa, the one which is the recent one, this is a different level of animalic. This is your barnyardy vanilla, and I love it. I actually think this is a very, very unique fragrance. I'm a little sad that it's disappointed, but then I wanted like a very, very strong vanilla in my collection, which I can use for layering. Actually, even on its own, I would love to wear this, because ultimately it just becomes like the sweet vanilla in the dry down, which is amazing. Now, let me just compare the notes for you guys so that like I can clear out the confusion for once and for all. The old formulation was caramel on the top, floral and sweet notes in the heart, and the base note was musk, oud, and vanilla. The new formula, on the other hand, is vanilla, caramel, and lemon on the top, the middle notes of jasmine, vanilla blossoms, and cedarwood, and the base notes of vanilla bean, powdery musk, and sandalwood. So, of course, like the new one, oh, it's like a beautiful, beautiful, like you, like, not that I'm reading the notes, I can actually smell the vanilla. It smells very Amalfi, or, you know, like something in the lines of Devotion by Dolce Gabbana. Now you guys know how much I love that perfume, right? But this is not really exactly like that. Just think of a lesser sweet version, a lesser lemony version of the Dolce Gabbana. That's your Victor new formula. I hope it made sense to you what I just said. Again, this is a 10 out of 10 for me, because I honestly, I love this perfume as well. As much as I enjoy the old formula, and you know what? It's going to stay in my collection. I'm still not going to give away the old one to anybody. I want both of these. As a matter of fact, I'm very happy that I have the old edition as well, because I'm sure after some time the price of this one is going to increase. So I'm going to save this in my collection. I'm going to actually like use it like sparingly, because I would want to like have this like forever with me. The Empire Victor original version, I had given it to King Darius from the Persian Empire. The new one, I'm going to give it to Melissa Barrera. The longevity on the new one, I would say, is like around 7 hours, which is excellent for a vanillic perfume. Of course, on the skin, it'll stay for more than 24 hours. The projection is just like 1 feet. It'll create like a scent bubble around you. So it'll only project to people who are close to you. Personally, I'm going to use it all around the year in all weather. But like a lot of people might prefer this during fall, winter, because of course, it's a very vanilla heavy perfume. While the old formula was very Middle Eastern leaning, the new one is not Middle Eastern at all. I hope that clears the air about the Empire Victor. The next one we have, which is reformulated, is Trust. This is from the Khadlaj 25 collection. This was again one of their beautiful like perfume releases. This is their legacy collection, which was like 25 years of Khadlaj in the market. And to celebrate those 25 years, they had released the legacy collection, which was called Khadlaj 25. Now, I have the old formula over here. If you remember the old formula, I had said it's very masculine leaning, but the new one is the complete opposite. It is a very gourmand pistachio fragrance. Let's start with the old one, because I was like so convinced that this was a masculine fragrance, and I just want to see, because how did it change after maceration? Oh my gosh, wow, I don't know why they reformulated this entire thingy, because honestly, the old one, it's a spicely, slightly animalic fragrance. Now, when you initially spray this, you immediately think, oh no, this is unisex, both like women and men can wear it. But the more it dries down, the leather starts like coming forward, and the leather is what makes this perfume unique, but it also makes it like slightly masculine leaning, although it is definitely unisex. Now, I told you guys that I would probably wear this, but it gives me like this tobacco leather vibe, which I associate with a man, and generally I would not want to wear it unless I'm going for a meeting where I want to like make an impression, if you know what I mean. I might spray this, but then I would also spray something like vanilla, like probably like the Empire Victor, just because I would want to give it like a little bit of a feminine touch. The old version definitely has a boss energy about it, which I really, really liked. As a matter of fact, Ali loves this perfume so much. He's been wearing it so much off late. So I'm a little sad that this was like let go and changed into a different formula. But I'm sure like there was a good reason behind it, but only Khadlaj can reveal. They just sent me these perfumes, told me it's reformulated. The bottles are like literally exactly the same. Now the old version, the top notes, this like I would tell you this was like a wearable leather. The top notes were fresh, fruity, mandarin, pink pepper and star anise. Can you imagine all those notes? Like very fresh, but the little peppery opening with that star anise, it gave this little freshness, this little intrigue. Then comes the middle notes where it was all florals of freesia, heliotrope, jasmine, lily of the valley, orange blossom and orchid. But the base notes was ambergris, which you can very much smell, which is also adding to the animalic nature of this fragrance. Then they had cedarwood, leather, moss, musk and patchouli. So very earthy, like animalic, intriguing spices, not like spicy spices like aniseed, pink pepper, but then it has like mild leather and like all the grounding notes of patchouli, of ambergris and everything, moss. It's such a beautiful fragrance. So I wonder what prompted them to actually change this perfume. I think this one is a legend. The old formula is a legend. This again was from 2023. Now, the 2024 version, which is the reformulated version, and this should settle the confusion for everybody once and for all. This one is a completely different perfume. Like it's like two different perfumes altogether. Victor was like remove the oud and you still have like kind of like the same vanilla, but this one is two different perfumes. In the opening, you immediately smell like cardamom and pistachio. But if you're thinking, is this a dupe for Kayali's Pistachio Yum? It is not. This is leaning more towards, I feel, Soleil Blanc by Tom Ford. It is very, very lovely. It is, in the beginning, I still get that anise seed. Like, even when I spray this for the first time, like, it's reformulated. It doesn't have the anise seed in it. But why am I smelling the anise seed? So there's like a residual anise seed thing going on. But then what you start smelling more is the pistachio, the cardamom is there like but very very mildly, but then the coconut starts coming in. It's like a milky coconut, not even like a pure coconut. Let me tell you the notes and then it's going to make sense why I'm saying this smells like Tom Ford's Soleil Blanc. Although people are saying that this smells like Pistachio Yum by Kayali, it does not. The top notes for this are pistachio, bergamot, mandarin, cardamom, pink pepper, peach and cherry. Wow, that's a lot of notes. Middle notes of jasmine, neroli, cedarwood, coconut and milky notes. And the base notes of vanilla, caramel, tonka, sandalwood, musky, like all the creamy notes. So this does feel very creamy. It does feel very cardamom, pistachio. It almost smells like a dessert, like a Middle Eastern dessert. That's why I would say this does lean a little Middle Eastern. It just smells like a very milky dessert. Like this smells more like a gelato, if I would be very honest with you. There's no shampooiness in this at all. This is kind of like seduction in a bottle. But the only one little problem I have with this perfume, it has a staleness in the background. Now, I can't describe what that staleness is. I'm assuming it is coming from the sandalwood, which makes it smell a little old, but not like vintage, right? It makes it smell a little old. I think it could be the combination of cedarwood and sandalwood. It's like that woodiness, like it's clashing somewhere with something and that's creating this oldish kind of note. When you'll smell the perfume, you'll know. But does that mean this perfume is bad? Not at all. This is a 9.5. Yeah, it's one of those pistachio smells that I really, really like. So yeah, while it does smell like a slight bit like Kayali's Yum Pistachio, this is by far not a dupe. This to me smells more like a tropical beach vacation, but in the pistachio direction, not in your yellow florals and coconut, So when they created Nuha, they created like the tropical perfume with apple. Think of this one as a more creamy, more vanillic tonka version of a tropical perfume, but with pistachio. I think this is stunning. I'm going to give it 9.5. That 0.5, I'm taking it away. Two reasons. I'm a little mad at them for reformulating this because the old Trust was a stunning perfume. It was very, very gorgeous. Yes, definitely for a man, although I do see myself wearing this once in a while. This is like a boss babe kind of perfume. But the new formula as well, it's such a stunning perfume. Like this could have been two different perfumes and I would have still loved them both, you know. The longevity on this one is like 8 hours, the new one. Projection, let's just say it's like around 2 to 3 feet, depending on how much you spray. Please do not overspray this because this can get very, very overwhelming because it does have very strong notes of pistachio and cardamom. And then also like those overwhelming, creamy, milky notes with the coconut, you know. So don't spray more than 5 sprays. Like 5 sprays, it'll be like a lot already. I think it's a unisex perfume, both men and women can wear it. But I would say it's leaning slightly feminine. And the Middle Eastern vibe, I would say it's like mid, yeah, because yeah, while it does have pistachio and everything, and the spicy notes as well, but you know, it's not really going in the direction of strong Middle Eastern. And the celebrity I want to give this to would be Monica Bellucci. Like, I don't know, everything Italian is coming in my head. Is she Italian? She is, right? Anyhow, again, I'm very sad that the old version is gone, but I really do appreciate the new version as well. Now, last but not the least is another one that's reformulated. Let's keep the old one on this side. This is the Lee Prestige Bold. This is the old version. And then I have the new one, which is the 2024 version. Oops, I opened it the wrong way. Again, the bottle is exactly the same. This one I'm not so mad at, but then you know what? It did not really make, the old version also did not really make like a very strong impression on me. So I was like a little unbothered about this perfume. While it is nice, I had categorized this as a sweet tropical fragrance. Actually, yeah, it does have that gummy bear, very like typical Khadlaj perfume, which would be like your gummy bears when it comes to creating a fruity fragrance, not like a tropical fragrance. I don't know why I've written sweet tropical. Oh wait, because I can smell the coconut in it now. Yeah, okay. The coconut just came forward like very, very strongly. So this was your gummy berry coconut, which I am not mad at. And this was again like a unisex perfume. So I wonder why they reformulated this entire thing. Like maybe I'll try to dig deeper, but of course these are brand secrets which I cannot like ask for. It's unfair for me to ask them about all these things, but I really do wonder why they changed all these perfumes which were like very, very unique on their own, you know. So the old version was top notes of bergamot, coconut and saffron, middle notes of violet, jasmine and drywood, and the base notes of sandalwood, patchouli and vanilla. Doesn't really smell like anything in specific, but I do smell like the violet flowers, the coconut, saffron and bergamot mixture along with that violet giving it that opening, which is very strange and it's something I haven't smelled before. And as it dries down, you get like more sweetness of the vanilla, you get some, patchouli is like almost non-existent in this. So yeah, like towards the end, you start getting like more of woods and vanilla. But you know, that strong initial notes of bergamot, coconut, saffron and violet, that kind of stays throughout the perfume. And I thought this was like a decent perfume. Although I'd given it 8 out of 10, that was not like a very high score, but it is still unique. And I did think that although it's a very, very sweet perfume, it would suit a man more than a woman. Now, the new formulation, it is a dupe for Baccarat Rouge, maybe the extrait, not the original. Let me just smell it again, because when I smelled it initially, I was like, dude, this smells very much like the extrait version. So this is like a sweeter version of Baccarat Rouge 540 without the medicinal vibe. Like this doesn't have that medicinal vibe at all, and it's a little bit more sweet. The notes are exactly like Baccarat Rouge. So the top notes are saffron, jasmine, middle notes of amberwood, and the base notes of fir, raisin, and cedar wood. I think ambergris is missing, right? Because I think original had the ambergris. So yeah, that's why maybe it's like a slight twist on Baccarat Rouge. So it is definitely much sweeter. It doesn't have that medicinal quality, the dental office quality at all. It lacks that very, very cold feeling you get, the almost like an indifferent feeling that you get when you wear Baccarat Rouge. And maybe that's for the better, because now we have so many dupes of Baccarat Rouge. So this might not be a direct dupe for any of those perfumes, but it's definitely in the same family. So it's very much like your ozonic fragrance, but think of it as a very, very sweet one. What's funny is like none of these notes make sense to me, because it's just smelling like, yeah, I can identify the saffron, but there's something very, very sweet in this. But I can't identify that sweet to be either floral or fruity or sugar or any of those, right? I don't know. It just smells very, very nice, all I can say. By the way, sugar is missing as well, so this might not be a dupe for Baccarat Rouge. I'm sorry, I think I'm messing up this whole thing, because the initial smell, I don't know why, I just thought it smelled like Baccarat Rouge, but when I'm smelling it now, it does smell like in the same family but different. But I still feel the original Bold was very, very different. I'm going to give them both an 8 out of 10, because Both of them were not like so impressive that I have to have them in my collection, but I would definitely wear them because they're very, very good perfumes. Now, again, I'm just like wondering why it happened, why the reformulation happened, you know. Maybe it was a batch problem or something, but I have sprayed both of them. I have used all these perfumes, the old ones and the new, and you guys know, like, I was obsessing over Empire Victor, so I didn't have a problem with it at all, except for the fact that I knew for sure that it'll be polarizing because of that very, very banyadi oud, right? So maybe that's the reason why they changed it. I don't know. I don't know. I can only guess that that's the reason why, but I don't want to put words into anybody's mouth, because if they wanted to disclose it to me, they would have disclosed the reason why. But either or, you know, if you can find the old formulas, I've given you a description of how the old ones smell and how the new ones smell. You can choose for yourself if you want the new version, the old version, or if you want both, you know, like me, if you're cuckoo like me. Now let's get two more perfumes which are not from Khadlaj. Those were like my reformulation updates. But I have two new perfumes for you guys, okay? So for the first one is Rave Now. I know. This is like highly due. I should have reviewed this a long time ago when it was released. But you know what? I was just not getting attracted to it. And you know what? The bottle is like, ugh, ugh. Oh my god, what the heck is this atrocity? It's a disgrace. This bottle actually terrifies me, and I'll tell you why. This is the reason why. What? How do I spray this? Like, how? Okay. Do you see that? The spray is so pathetic. Plus, like, half the perfume is coming on the sill or whatever you call it. So, anyhow, what does it smell like? It's supposed to be a dupe for Burberry Her Elixir. Now the thing is, I don't have the Elixir version, but I do have the super tiny Burberry. So I ordered the sample set of all the Burberrys. It had the Burberry London, the Burberry Her, and then it had this the EDP and the EDT. Now this guy, I didn't like it. I didn't like this perfume, and I did not like the Rave Now. They both were supposed to be a twist on Baccarat Rouge, and I was like, what are you even talking about? I'm sorry, it is so freaking sweet. It's so, so sweet. And in a juvenile way. And what's worse is I can still bear this one. Maybe because this is not the elixir. I don't have the elixir, so I don't know how it smells like. They do smell very, very identical, except for this being a little bit more marshmallowy and extremely, extremely juvenile sweet, okay? Let me just spray it on my... Now, I know a lot of people will like this fragrance. It retails for only $25, which is the good part. On Fragrantica, it's got 4.39, and I was very surprised because I'm like, okay, so people do like this kind of fragrances. So I'm just giving you my opinion, okay? It's okay. Feel free to like this perfume. Top notes are red fruit and orange. Middle notes are marshmallow, lily of the valley, and jasmine. And the base notes of vanilla, musk, and moss. I don't know. I just don't like this fragrance. First of all, it does have this soapy quality to it, which is there in the background. But that's not really what bothers me. What bothers me is the juvenile sweetness, that mixture of the red fruits with the marshmallow. It's just making this perfume a little too overwhelming for me. What's weird is I can't stop smelling it. Like, I keep putting my nose to it, but there's no way in the world I would want to smell like this. I would not want myself to ever smell of this perfume. But I want to smell it. You know what it smells like? It smells like those erasers used to get when I was a kid. I don't know if it's still available or not, but they used to have this very, very strong smell in it, a strong perfume. The eraser used to be normally like rectangular in shape. It was white in color, and then it would have like a print on one side, and you would collect those erasers. But when you use the eraser, it had this strong smell, and it was the same feeling. I would want to keep sniffing on it because it was very addictive, that juvenile, plasticky kind of scent. That's what it is. It smells like this bottle, like this a plasticky thing. By the way, I don't know what this material is. It's like a bit like rubber, but it's like a very hard rubber. I didn't realize that. But the top portion is like very, very cheap plastic. But this portion is not plastic. See, I can't make that noise, but the columns are, but then this is not, you know. So yeah, I don't know. This is like ugly. Maybe if it was all white, it would still look better. But then you had this pink. But then you know what? This perfume does smell like an annoying pink. Like, this is an annoying pink color. And it does smell like a very annoying pink. So yeah, although I don't like this perfume, but clearly people do, since it's got 4.39 on Fragrantica. and it smells like Burberry Her. Now, this one is like a nice perfume, but again, this is something I would never wear on myself. I got this as a sample. Yeah, it's cute. Okay, I can keep it on my display and everything. Would I ever wear this? No, I would not. I'm gonna give this perfume a 6 out of 10. It's been a very long time since I've not, I was gonna use a bad word, but on a perfume, and today I am because it's just annoying me. This perfume is just like, you know. And that orange also, you know how it smells like? It smells like that popsicle orange or a candy orange. It's not like your fresh orange. It smells like everything is like super artificial. The orange in it is artificial. The red berry, the red fruits, whatever is there in it, super artificial. The marshmallow note, artificial. Lily of the valley, I can't even smell it. And jasmine, honestly, smells like something very perfumey and smells like a room spray. Like things, like you go in these public offices, government offices, and they have this normally, okay, not in Dubai anymore. Old Dubai, maybe it used to have it. Not everywhere in Dubai, it's like posh. You'll smell like Dior and Chanel and everything. But like, I remember these old, like, public places where they used to have these automatic sprays and used to have this cheap perfume. Smells like that. Never, ever, ever on me. 6 out of 10. No Middle Eastern vibe. Surprisingly lasts very, very long. Like give it like 7 to 8 hours easily. Projects like a good 2 to 3 feet. So yeah, if you do like this very candy, marshmallow, very, very sweet fragrance that smells juvenile, the candy perfumes like La Belle by Jean Paul Gaultier. There are a lot of other candy perfumes also which I really, really like, but this is not my cup of tea. So I'm gonna like no. And the celebrity I gave this to was Britney Spears. Just think of a personality back in the days, the kind of clothes and everything she used to wear, like just not from this era. The last one I have is Shahad. One of you had requested, a couple of you actually had requested, and they asked me to review this one. And somebody else had asked me, sorry, to give them a frangipani option. I'm so happy I bought this because this is like tuberose and frangipani overload. Now, Shahad is a very, very, very economical perfume. I think you'll get it for like $25. It smells very, very familiar. It smells like I have smelled this before, and not like recently. I've smelled this in my childhood. So I was like trying to put my mind, what is this? Of course, it's very, very mature florals. You put frangipani and tuberose together, like what do you expect? Like you know it's not gonna like go right. See, the thing is on Fragrantica, this perfume has got 4.4, and I understand why people would like it. It reminds you of vintage perfumes. The first perfume that came in my mind. I don't know if it's the exact dupe for that or not, but it smells like white diamonds. Think of that era, like when white diamond was a very, very popular fragrance, and it smelled classic, and immediately it would remind you of something vintage. This is that perfume. Let me tell you the notes for this. So the top notes are ylang ylang and frangipani. Yellow floral galore. And then in the middle notes you have tuberose, but then you have solar notes along with it, which I guess is like a good thing because that solar note kind of makes you feel like gives you like a salty vibe, which will cut through the yellow floral sweetness. And then the base notes you have musk, amber, vanilla, and cedar. Now, if you like yellow florals, I'm not one of them. I'm more of a white florals girl. I'm not like even into much of pink florals like peony, geranium, rose. I stay away from them. White florals, there's certain white florals like jasmine, orange blossom that I really, really like. Tiare flowers, like those kind of florals I can get along with. But like yellow florals is like the last thing that I'll ever purchase for myself. Now, having said that, this perfume did make me feel nice. It gave me like a nostalgic feeling, which I wore this at night after shower, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wear this to bed. And I swear, I just got like such good sleep. I was like, because it was like comforting. It was smelling like my mom, or actually more like my grandmother, not even my mom. Like it just reminds me of a perfume that my grandmother used to wear, and I can't even like describe whether it was like one of those talcum powders she used to wear, of Pond's, or I don't even know what powders were there besides Pond's at that time, but it kind of reminds me of like a perfume she used to wear along with those talcum powders. It's a very nostalgic fragrance. So yeah, I have a feeling that I'm not gonna give up this perfume. I'll keep it with myself. Plus the fact that it's that reasonable, and honestly, I don't mind the packaging. Look, it's so cute. Like people were saying that no, it's ugly. No, it's not. Like the cap is actually plastic, but it looks expensive, and the bottle also kind of looks like nice. And yeah, while this Pink also is like a dusty pink, like it looks like very like a vintage feeling with the gold, rose gold cap and everything. I think it's a beautiful packaging, and it's like comes very dirt cheap. So actually don't mind it. I'm gonna give this perfume an 8 out of 10 because initially when I started, I was like, maybe it'll be like a 7, but you know what? Now I feel it's more of an 8. Let's see on Fragrantic. I'm pretty sure it was compared to White Diamonds, but let me just reach. Okay, it's been compared to Narciso's Poudre. Okay, yeah, it does have like a powdery feeling and does have those yellow florals, but I don't know. I've smelled like Poudre a long time ago. I don't even have it anymore with me. And then it is terracotta. So white diamond is not even on the list. Okay, maybe it's the terracotta then that's reminding me of this perfume, because that again, I remember I didn't purchase it because it was so vintage leaning. But terracotta, I remember it was more tropical. This one, although it has a solar note, it's not leaning that tropical. But yeah, if you for reference point, you can think of white diamonds, how it smells like. If you liked white diamonds, you're gonna like this perfume as well. And the celebrity, because this perfume immediately reminded me of white diamond, I thought of Elizabeth Taylor. I couldn't like think of anybody else because that's the first impression I got in my mind. No, it's not vintage leaning like Marilyn Monroe or Audrey Hepburn, you know. No, this is like more of Elizabeth Taylor in that era, you know. When she started releasing her perfumes, you know how old she was. It's giving me that vibe. It's not Middle Eastern at all. I think this is like suitable for spring and summer. It doesn't have any Middle Eastern vibe. It projects like crazy, 3 to 4 feet, and it lasts all day long, 8+ hours. So yeah, Shahd is like a decent perfume, which is why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10. My hair is a mess. I don't know what's happening throughout this video. The more every time I look at myself, I'm like, what's happening to your hair, Sam? It's just like, shh, it's tired, you know. But you know what? We are one day after Eid, and we did have like a lot of work to do because this is the Eid where we do distribute a lot of alms and like things like that. So it's like a lot of work during this Eid. It's not just about getting ready and prepping yourself up and looking pretty and visiting relatives. It's like a whole lot of like work, which takes the life out of you sometimes. But it's all for a good cause, and I just love this Eid. So yeah, but I did think I should put this video out because everybody is like, please clear this problem going on with Khadlaj, because I think everybody's associating me with Khadlaj now. I'm not the only person they work with. There are like a lot of people. But yeah, I think I do speak a lot about Khadlaj perfumes, but I do speak equally about Lattafa as well. But people don't associate me with Lattafa. They associate me with Khadlaj for some reason. So yeah, I thought let me like bring this video to you today itself so that like it's out there and you guys can finally understand what's the difference between the 2023 formulation and the 2024 formulation. That's it for today, guys. I'm gonna go make some shorts now. My day is not over yet. And then I have like a lot of other things to take care of today, and I'm gonna like move on to that. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.